lot of fucking history. How I got here is seriously a fucking mystery. Grateful I saw my 20s, no one sent a hit for me. And I'm here to tell my story and record this music like a symphony. Whether it was depression or the enemies, there's a lot of possible ends. There's a lot of ways I could have gone and not come around the bend. And then of course, there's always my fucked up health. I'm recording all this music, but I'll probably never see any wealth. But that's not why I'm in it. I'm here to tell my story, and some shit, the truth be told, really fucking haunts me. I don't know what's next in life, and that's really fucking daunting, but I gotta finish this album. Gotta be staunch, see? So let's take some time to go over all this history, and the points of my life that were just full of bickering. It's a point in my life that I really don't want to go back to, but for the purposes of this album, I've gotta go back through. To myself, I always tried to stay true, but as for all the others, I kept seeing through all their bullshit and all their fake personalities, but I became like them in the end, didn't care about what I wanted myself to be. I've been bullied, had cunts literally push and pull me, thought they were big and tough, thought they could school me. Thoughts of revenge would consume me, it was so fulfilling. Give us 5 minutes alone in a room, would have been a killing. Those cunts are dumb, they've got no intellect. They run these days if there's any risk that we'd intersect. They don't dare pipe up, don't dare interject, cause I know exactly what would happen if they did, they know I'd intercept. But as it is, they don't do much out of their packs. They need their little mates around to feel big and jacked. I've acknowledged a few with diss tracks, but the rest aren't worth it, they're probably fucked up on smack. But that's not all, I've also been catfished by many a girl with no ass and a bad lisp. They think they're high and mighty, think they're bad bitches, fucking over every guy they talk to and throwing them in the ditches. I guess it must be that time of the month, cause I seem to leave every guy they're with down in the dumps. To be clear, I don't feel this way about all females, just the ones who fuck over guys, only care about their feelings and bail. Bail out on all their commitments, leave at the last moment and say it's just business. Business of what? Having no morals? Cause you just ripped that guy's heart out and dragged it over the coals. Ah well, I'm sick of this, it's time to focus on the new. Despite some days being bad, I've got a lot of shit to look forward to. That's the story of my life, all of what I just mentioned. That was the history, now it's time for redemption. Sometimes I want to get a time machine, go back and just reminisce on a time that unfortunately just don't exist. Or maybe not, but either way, I guess the point of it is to go back and tell that little kid that he's going to cop a lot of shit. Please, for goodness sake, listen to your folks when they tell you life is hard. Once you hit your 20s, you ain't going to know where to start. See, what you don't know is your whole innocence is about to get torn apart, and your whole future is about to become very grim and dark. Your nan told you to be an accountant, you wanted to be a truck driver, but what you don't know is your whole past is about to come back and bite you. Part of doing this makes me feel like a survivor, but the other part of it just feels like a reminder. A reminder of all the shit that I don't want to remember, but I feel like I've got to do it, because this cycle, I've got to end it. I feel like this is a bushfire, and I'm just catching all the embers, but like my mate's hoodie says, just send it. I know some things about the future that you weren't ready for, and they're things that I can no longer cover up or ignore. So I'm coming back to warn you of what's in store, and I've got to tell you, it'll shatter this image of the life you adore. There'll be no more going out to the city we can end, going on trams. Instead it'll be the real world, you'll be dealing with traffic jams. No more of the little kid being pushed in a pram. Instead it's time to go to high school and get slammed. I don't know if you can hear this, but I just want you to know that you should definitely cherish this part of your life before it goes. There will come a time where it becomes very complicated, and it'll feel like living, is very overrated. You'll have a lot of problems, ask a lot of questions. There'll probably come a time where you won't know what's best for you. And to make matters worse, you look different when your hormones burst. I'll be here for you if things get worse. Remember in 05 when the kid cut your finger in autistic school and the hospital thought they could fix it with mystic glue? Or in 07 and 08 going out the truck on a Sunday when we'd stop and get the donuts at Fountain Gate? How about in 2010 going to Craigieburn to 1am and going to the footy with your cousin at Etihad Stadium? Or how about when your mum got famous going on Deal or No Deal? She thought getting that 200k would be easy, like a steal. 2011, year 5 of Mr. Lee's going to Queen Vic Market, 10 years already, shit, time couldn't have gone any faster. Those are the good days, but in reality it changes in 2012. That's the time that I really don't like to delve into, but I have to, because that's when it all changes. Into school sport, I was about it, running across the bases. Where it all was shit though, was back in class. This was the year that life really started to give me a kick in the ass. I don't know if you can hear this, but I just want you to know that you should definitely cherish this part of your life before it goes. There will come a time where it becomes very complicated, and it'll feel like living is very overrated. You'll have a lot of problems, ask a lot of questions. There'll probably come a time where you won't know what's best for you. And to make matters worse, you look different when your hormones burst. I'll be here for you if things get worse. Should we even talk about what happened under the table? To be honest, I'd hope by now that memory would have faded. It was nearly 10 years ago, but there's still no excuse. Just know it was inappropriate, filmed, and lewd. There's worse to come though. The next year, 2013, is nearly a decade ago, but it still haunts me. Just put it this way, you'll be bullied until you're permanently scarred, and then, regrettably, start doing it yourself and take it too far. I don't know if you can hear this, but I just want you to know that you should definitely cherish this part of your life before it goes. There will come a time where it becomes very complicated, and you'll feel like living is very overrated. You'll have a lot of problems, ask a lot of questions. There'll probably come a time where you won't know what's best for you. And to make matters worse, you'll look different when your hormones burst. I'll be here for you if things get worse.
It's nearly 10 years since I left Woodville. Doesn't seem that long ago. The times were more simple. Just running around out on the playground without worries or regrets. But in truth, I had no friends. But that was okay, because I was just a simple kid. All I'd do is go out onto the oval and sit with the teachers. They took me under their wing. I didn't know back then that I'd start doing tracks and sing. 2010 I got there, without a worry in the world. Wasn't long before I went back to my old ways, trying to get all the girls. Every one of them turned me down, but I got no regrets. Because in the end, if you ain't willing to try, what are you gonna get? Every afternoon I'd go out with my dad in the truck. Who'd have known back then I'd end up on a track with... That was back before I needed a lot of luck. And back before I knew of guys like Michael Tuck. 2011, year 5 was a blast. It's crazy to think that it's so far back in the past. Who'd have thought 10 years later I'd be sitting around drinking flasks and we'd have to go out and wear masks. In school sport, T-ball, I was the king of chasers, but I always loved being the batter, running across the bases, but I always struggled hitting the balls off the tee. Maybe that was a sign of how bleak my future would be. 2012, year 6 was pretty somber. Every bit of resilience I had, I'd need to stock up. This is when I encountered a lot of bullying and broken relationships, but it was still before my love for it all faded. Because see, I still had love for it all and a certain group of people. They helped me a lot on the way to seeing through the test and through the bigger picture. I gotta say, sometimes I do miss it. I miss the simplicity of it all and all the good relationships, because now, I gotta say, it feels like that time has faded. Thanks to a few people, but to the real ones who peeled me up off the canvas, I gotta say, thank you. Just to add to that, Mr. Reed for being as cool to me as you were, and Mr. Lees. You guys became like mates to me. And yeah, I'll forever be thankful for everything you guys did. And geez, what a contrast in my voice. But yeah, thank you both for everything you did, because I'll never forget it and I'll always appreciate it. So yeah, thank you very much. And I just want to make particular mention as well to anyone else who was in my corner at Woodville. You all know who you are. Thank you all for what you did. It means more to me than what you all know. And yeah, to anyone else who helped me at Woodville, thanks. Hope you're all doing well.
Oh shit, did you hear about that guy, Aiden? I hear he's a fucking pedophile. Oh yeah, shit, I fucking heard he chatted up a 10-year-old and asked her for nudes.
Oh, that Aiden's gotta be a druggie for sure. Look at his eyes. Look at his fucking face, bro. Look at it, man. Fucking hell. Fucking got rashes all up and down his face. Look at the acne, bro. Bro. Fucking hell, I've seen pizzas with less cheese on their face than this guy.
Nice shoes, faggot.
Ah, yes. Good morning, madam. It is Pippi Longstocking from down at school. Your ratbag of a son has just been involved in another assault on some perfectly innocent children who are doing absolutely nothing, but your violent criminal of a son has just assaulted them again out of nowhere. Can you please come down to the school? We are going to have a stern talk, because if it happens again, I must inform you that we will have to resort to expulsion. Thank you very much. See you in due course. Cheerio.
Expulsion? You really think I want to be here, bitch?
Back in the day, was all skin and bones, being afraid of the foes and copping a blow to the dome. I never knew where to go or a direction to home. I caught so much hate and mates became fake, with snakes in the grass coming through my lane. I couldn't steer straight, but shit seemed so vague. Walking through the school with my gang, the Wolfpack was the name. It was the early days of rap, writing a page in class. Next stage I was writing a track on the pad. I had to clutch cheeks online to get a pass. Always late, running behind the pack on the track. Emcee Nazza was the name, nothing less. Tried to create my own lane, setting up for the best. I never understood why I got hate, I figured because I was the best. People shouted my name, thought I'd be better off dead, but they didn't understand that I always put my passion as rap.
Back in the day, when I was full of rage, there was one thing that would make me turn the page. Me, Ash and N-Dog called ourselves a Wolfpack. Those were the days, making memories and giving a fun life a crack. So many foes, always getting blows, but me and the boys were the only good blokes. Back before there was even a term for woke, we left all our enemies heads down up in smoke. Nathan Dean Cleary always jumping over the bins. That gay little faggot has more than a few sins. Used to go to the skate park, boys would call up, I'm in. Rode around on a scooter with all the 12-year-old gimps. Hung out at the old plaza with the OGs who became masters. They don't cry and scream when their hands touch the plaster. Got into some beef, but we back now, don't let it haunt me. Great memories though, the year that was 2014.
Yo, so I want to say massive thank you to everyone in my past back then. Like, shit now compared to then, oh man, I regret so much shit. Like, so many people I beefed with, and it was unintentional. Get what I mean? Ash, Aidos, we were the Wolfpack. I know we ain't talking anymore, bro, but like, if you ever need me, bro, I was there. I still remember where you live and shit. You want me to come down, I'll just come over, bro.
Yeah, man, like Naz said, there's so much shit from back then that I regret, you know? Shit I wish I could change, do over. So much beef that was unintentional. But, hey, I want to apologise to any of those people who got caught up with my shit. And also thank anyone else that was a good part of my life from back then. I appreciate you all. Fucking, what a year 2014 was, man. A lot of bad memories, but some good ones as well. The Wolfpack, as Naz said on breaks, it got cut out because we had to do the hook, but those memories will forever lie close to us. And like Naz said, Ash, if you're listening, I know you and him lost contact for whatever reason, I don't know, but we both hope you're well, man. Did the story of the Wolfpack was supposed to end on breaks, but I'm not done. Airing out all these fakes, or how about the years beyond, and what told her to take. Used to just drink coke, now I'm getting baked. This song will be called 2014 and Beyond, but to tell you the truth, the years beyond were pretty long. Well, it felt long, but it was actually short. Thought I had time, but it's gone quick. The years beyond really went to shit. So through the rest of this, I'm gonna tell you some stories. And some shit, the truth be told, really fucking haunts me. Going out on my own was pretty fucking daunting. Every time I went out, everyone saw me. There was a beef between me and my crew and Toby One Kenobi. He kept saying he was tough. I said, show me. One of my boys shoved him right down on his ass. Have that, bitch. Hope you like the taste of that grass. But not the real stuff. You don't smoke. I hope you guzzle right down on that cum and choke. On those 18-year-olds, you just grope. Rehabilitating you? Pfft, bitch, there's no hope. Then there was the beef that went down with Talia. When it all went off, it went up like a sparkler. They were the best at the practice of exorcism. Picked on a boy with autism. But I must say, the way it all went down I regret. Because when it came down to it, they got the best. Even of me, for years I became bitter. Sold the one person that cared about me down the river. That bothered me for a while, like an infected splinter. But eventually I moved on. The pieces I picked up. To her, if you're listening and know who you are, I'm sorry. I didn't know how much that decision would cost me. Talia, if you're listening, I'm sorry too. Kept it all in here for years and bothered you. It was wrong, and you were right to call it harassment. If it was a job and I did it, they'd probably sack me. I just woke up one day and said it seemed so simple. Why was I bothering with something that was never there to begin with? So I stopped it, would have apologised, but it seemed self-fulfilling. And to be honest, I couldn't blame you if you didn't forgive me. Early 2017, I stopped being friends with the boys. Gave in to the pressure and the external noise. Felt bad, we didn't see what we were doing to its end. 3 years later, they were back, coming round the bend. After that, in mid-July, I went to TAFE. It seemed like going there, my future was safe. It's 3 years since I left, still don't know what to do. But I'm telling my story now, and that's true.
We're gonna have to switch where you guys are hanging out to avoid conflicts. You guys hang there, you guys hang there. And if you guys fail to abide by that, there will be consequences.
Let's just follow him. Calm down.
2015, huh? Doesn't seem so long ago. 6 years already? Man, where did the time go? Never knew back then I'd be struggling with flows. But I guess that's just how life is. That's the way it goes. They were such simpler times, you know. One phone call and off we'd go. Didn't have to worry about posturing. And weren't weighed down by responsibility. Every 2 weeks or so we'd go to the plaza. Spend what little we had. We couldn't get out of school faster. These little kids today need to learn from the masters. Think they're big but go owies when they touch the plaster. They wouldn't even know what to order from Donut King. They cry if something happens to their pinky ring. I see them out and about today, they just can't hack it. Oh, and by the way, used to have terrible jackets. We used to wear it back in the day, headphones through the shirt, collars up. You wouldn't even know what I mean by the term bottoms up. I'm telling you, they were cooler. Go and find a photo. You wouldn't even know how to take a video in slow-mo. We were a brotherhood. People wanted us. Used to treat this like it's the Brotherhood of St. Lawrence. And no, I don't mean the art teacher. Put us against yous and I guarantee we'll beat ya. 2015, man, it was such a simpler time. Never knew all these years later I'd be writing rhymes. Man, sometimes I wish I could turn back time. Go back 7 years to where I enjoyed life. We felt so free, could go out with no fear. And the end of the year was finally here. Trouble was brewing, man, y'all knew. Went to the city and nearly lost $160 shoes. Man, it really doesn't feel that long ago. Now adulthood's here, 22 years down, forever to go. To be honest though, I'd do anything to get it back. Cause a life of an adult, I just can't hack.
Ayo, late beats, killer shit.
Kyle, you're crazy with this.
Let me tell you something about hoppers. You always needed a vacation, but you had the next best thing. There was only one place for recreation. On the oval, out with all the trees and plants. And if someone spilled something sticky, your legs would be covered in ants. Over in one particular corner near the footy goals, there'd be smoke. It was so bad, it almost made me choke. There'd be a bunch of kids in the corner smoking cigarettes. And from what I saw, they'd never get caught, you can bet. Then there'd be a distinct smell of bud in the toilets. This is where most kids would stuff up and foil it. But in that place, you had to do it. Had to get off chops. Had to do something to distract yourself from all the flops. I wish I could say it was a simpler time. I wish I didn't have to put this in a rhyme. But like all the kids asking for gold coins, stealing your cheddar, that place didn't really make people's demons any better. Shout out to the sick cunts on the back of the oval. You really know a good spot. And to the lads in the bathroom, fuck, that was some skunky shit. Like, damn bro, chill.
Tell me, do you know what it's like to be somewhere whereby not one person you're liked, where everywhere you walk you're avoided?
looked at as if you've loitered. When people compare you to an emergency situation and you're evaded, and honestly half the time, you don't even know why you're hated. Put yourself out there and your emotions are completely raided. After the rejection, your heart sinks and you've completely faded. People constantly go behind your back and say shit, and you have memes made about you. As Logic said, that's when you know you made it. But in that situation, man, I honestly struggle to see it. When you're constantly told all you'll do is be shit. By random people looking to make a name, I'd take hits. But look at me now, I'm out here doing bits. Yeah, I'll admit I made plenty of mistakes, plenty of chances I didn't take. Wasted time and screwed up my future, a life for myself I didn't make. Instead I sit around depressed, binge eating cake. When it's time for my funeral, I bet people will be hanging out for the wake. You may not like my reasons, but you better respect them. My friends, welcome to the autism spectrum. Having this means I'm awkward socially. And in these situations I struggle vocally. People didn't understand this, thought I was weird. Didn't help that by 13 I could pretty much grow a full beard. Let good people go for bad ones. Why? Now I feel like life is passing me by. And honestly, the more I think about it, it makes me cry. But when I had a chance to make something, I didn't even try. Sold one of the few people that cared to the enemy. Maybe being fucked over was meant to be. I only realised they were real after seeing a photo in a room. My life since has been like the Temple of Doom. The enemy had me wrapped around their finger. They ranged in hair colour from blonde to ginger. No matter how angry I got didn't hinder them screwing me. I constantly made my hands blister. But even to this person, someone's daughter, my anger kinda made me sound like a stalker. My flaw when angry has always been that I like to talk. But I should've walked long ago, drawn the line with chalk. You entertain clowns, you become part of the circus. It's hard to decide though which one to do first. Anger kinda makes you act on impulse in the moment. But when your mind is clear, that decision you make, you lose it. I assured myself what got to me wasn't the people. In truth, I let it get to me, and now here we have the sequel. If anyone decides I'm full of shit, I can't blame you. But I assure you, I only come here to speak the truth.
Let's talk the last day at Hoppers. The last day of 4 years of sadness, loneliness, feeling like I'm one out. In fact, in many instances, I was one out. But also great memories, particularly towards the end. It was sad, the last day. It was. Because I was going to be leaving a lot of people that I liked behind. But then I also, I looked at the people I had problems with, and I was like, I ain't going to miss any of you. And to this day, I still haven't seen the majority of them. And maybe some of them I've seen once, but that's it. Is that fate? I don't know. And one of the other biggest things for me was, as much as I hated the place personally, it's kind of all I knew. And it was like, going out into the world, it's like, fuck, it's a scary thought. It's like, Jesus, what do I do now? I'm out of here. Where does my life go to next? Thankfully, I got to say goodbye to most of the people that I wanted to say goodbye to. The AP, or assistant principal there, I did want to fucking say goodbye to and thank, because his hands are kind of tied, he had to stick within the rules, but he did a lot for me there, so I left a letter under his door. I don't even think he's still there anymore. So, Mr. Harding, if you're listening, thank you for everything you did. What that is can stay between you and me. And also, I want to take this opportunity to just thank everyone else there that did do something to help me. There'd be too many to name, but yeah, you all played a part in, at very least, making my time there, or at least last year's there, somewhat tolerable. So yeah, I appreciate you all. Regrets. Well, as the saying goes, regrets I've had a few, right? Nah, I've had way more than a few. Fucking, where do I start? All the shit that happened in my last year at Woodville. Pretty much the whole of my fucking time at Hoppers. Letting so many fucking people take advantage of me. Selling the one person that cared out to the enemy who didn't give a fuck about me. Like a lot of people. The way it all ended in my last year. Not doing anything with my tape course. 3 years and probably forever at this rate. There's so much. So much actually that I couldn't put it all into a minute or two long interlude, but for years I've lived looking in the rearview mirror. For the 5 years since I left Hoppers, that's all I've done. Just looked in the rearview mirror. Not been excited at all for anything that was to come, or looking for anything that was to come. The regrets have just stayed in my head. They've played over and over again like a movie. But this album's called Redemption, isn't it? So it's time for mine. Sorry to all those that I hurt, and everything that, well, everyone that formed these regrets that I have today, except for the ones that did me wrong. You can all go fuck yourselves. But it's time to focus on me now. And I hope you all can understand that. Time for redemption.
Gotta come up on the mic, keep it Encore. Gotta say, life right now feels like I'm closing the door. It's hard because I definitely wanted to do more, and now I don't know what the future has in store. All I got left of the old life is stinking memories. Drown my sorrows and grief with a bottle of Hennessy. This new life and its expectations like to test me. And gotta say, think it's all starting to get the best of me. Got a few regrets about how it all went, feel like it's all my fault. It really sucks growing up and becoming an adult. Wish I knew what the future would hold as a kid. Might not have taken it all for granted, ran away and hid. Yeah, ran away and hid from reality. And wondered when or if I'd make my parents proud of me. I try and approach all this new stuff with the power of positivity, but I think I'm crumbling under the weight of responsibilities. Reality is, when it comes to this life, you're never ready. I never knew I had any comprehension of what was ahead of me. Back then I couldn't wait to be an adult, couldn't sit still. But now I'll give anything to go back to when life was simple. Enjoy this, what the last mum said, it sucks when you get older. God, I wish I listened, you're lying, I told her. There are good times, and you'll want it back once you hit your 20s. Say, where has the time gone? I wonder what the future
future will be. Life's changing, and I don't know if I can handle the demand. I want the old life so bad, but I'm becoming a new man. I feel like the salt water took my old life, came in and swept it from the sand. I'm changing slowly, like the NBN broadband. I don't know what the future holds or if I'll handle the weight, but so long as I've got my family and friends, hopefully it'll all turn out great. I'm becoming very different, and I don't know what's in store, but there's no use lying, so I made sure to keep it on call.
Shout out to the fam of my few true good friends. You all know who you are. Thank you for sticking by me through it all, as I know I can be far from the best person to be around at times. And well, let's face it, I'm persona non grata around here, so that couldn't have been easy. It means more to me than you know. And to the people who aren't in my life, sorry it didn't work out, but thank you for being in my life for the time you were. I appreciate every single person who's ever chosen to be part of my life.
New man, reincarnated. Back then, I was the most hated. The topic of my name was heavily frowned on and debated, deciding whether I should be hated on or celebrated. In the end, most picked hated. For years in anticipation of their acceptance, I waited. But in the end, you ain't gonna get it. What I should have done was concentrated on bettering myself, made something to be proud of before life faded. Yeah, at some point, life as I knew it faded. Became a teenager, through all the storm that brings I waited for times to get better, but they didn't, and I became quite jaded. By the whole experience, it became one of the things I most hated. Took me a long time to get over all those hurdles. For a while I went into my shell a bit, like a turtle. I'm telling a story most of you have never heard of, but I came back from it all, for the most part, very strong.
Yeah, there's some things that may stay with me for life, but I'm prepared for that now. Know what to do when I get into strife. For a while I couldn't accept this reality, got into a lot of mischief, but in the end I'm confident that you all will see the difference.
Let me tell you something, everything's different now. It feels like in the last 2 years, everything's gone south. No one knows how they are anymore, or what they're about. This whole COVID thing has filled their minds with doubt. You become accustomed to one thing, think it's perfection, but in actual fact, it's just a perception. I've been doing a lot of thinking lately, and upon reflection, things really weren't much better during the times I've mentioned. Pre-2020 and 21 really weren't much better. If anything went wrong, you didn't have to sweat it. You may ask why this matters, because over the last 2 years, I've seen a lot of shit happen. I've seen people I know change and go around the bend, and I've seen what look like lifelong relationships end. So many memories gone, so much that won't happen. Now ask me again, why does this matter? Everything's changing, and truth be told, I fucking hate it. Making this song was heavily debated. Everything's different now, and I don't want to leave, but time don't wait for no man, even if you say please. I'm still here, even as the time goes past. Why can't we go back to the simple days where there was no drama, where we didn't have to go out and wear masks, and there wasn't any stupid dumb chicks with Macca's made asses? No, it's all gone now, and I gotta move on. I'm moving into a life that I have no fucking clue on. No clue on what's next, I got no idea what's best. I wish I could truly just say, forget about the rest. That next is my reality now, gotta make new memories. Got no idea, truly what's best for me. I want to say thanks to everyone in my life from 2019 and before, but here's to the future, and I've got no idea what's in store.
Hey, shout out to everyone in my life from 2019 and before. It was There were some good times. I fucked up sometimes, but made some good memories too. In many ways, I'm still there. I'm there, but time's moving around me. It's a pretty shit feeling. But hey, shout out to everyone still in my life now. We're gonna make some cool new memories, I know it. Here's to the future, baby.
Well, here we are. How the fuck did we get here? This is meant to be about the truth, right? It's meant to be my story. Well, fuck it, why don't we tell it, eh? Why not? The fuck do I start? Hoppers, right? Don't get me wrong, there's a lot I'm fucking thankful for from that place. Like, there's a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but there's a few people that I met from there that I'll forever be glad that I met them, and there's a few relationships that I had that I'll forever cherish, and memories from them that I'll forever cherish. But I got there in 2013 and left in 2016, and I walked into the gate on the first day and walked out of the gate on the last day to completely different people. And I'm trying to find the kid that arrived there, the kid that would walk around smiling, the kid that would fucking be jovial, crack jokes, you know, blah blah blah. But it just ain't there anymore. I don't even fucking recognise the person who looks at me in the mirror anymore. What the fuck do you say to that? You know? What do you say? 5 fucking years ago I left that place. 5 years. I left in December 2016. December 1st, 2016. 5 years. We're in 2022 now. February 2022. I was meant to have a vision. I was meant to have a path. That's what my parents wanted for me, right? You reckon that happened? Now here I am 3 years later, and I've got no fucking idea what my life's going to amount to. I'm just sitting here and just going, how the fuck did I come to this? You know? I look back at the memories and the photos of me 5 years ago, a lot skinnier, a lot better looking. You know, I had this big crew, and life was good. Honestly, it honestly was. For the first time in a long time, life was good. And then, like that, it all just fucking went up in smoke. I didn't have any of it anymore. You know, all the fucking people that I considered friends wiped me like a dirty rag. I didn't know what the fuck to do. Part of me still doesn't know what the fuck to do. You know, 1 minute you have all this, and the next you're out there on your own. I love my friends, don't get me wrong. And there's so much shit I wish I could say to them on this, but this is getting long enough already. But when you're up by yourself at 2 o'clock in the morning, or when you're out and it's just you and your thoughts, they can't do anything. I'm in a one-man war with my own head, and I don't know how to fucking stop it. Yeah. My granddad used to say to me, fucking appreciate this time because it goes quick. I never fucking understood that until now. And God, I wish I'd taken that advice. Because it fucking does. You don't feel it in the moment, but believe me, once it's all said and done, it goes fucking quick. Oh, man. I can't help but look at other people, you know, see all the shit they've got, just be like, man, where did I fucking go wrong? Did I miss something? Like, was there something I was meant to have? Cause, man, I don't know. There's fucking so much shit I wish I could take back. I can't even name it all here. There's so much, you know, so much shit I wish I could have over again. But what can I do? You want the truth? Here it is. I have autism. I probably have depression. I probably have anxiety as well. Definitely fucking social anxiety. That's probably autism as well. There's the truth that I've held in for, God even knows. So some people know, but others don't. Jeez, must be most of my life. I went to great fucking lengths to stop people knowing. And in the end, it didn't do me any favours, because people still look at you like you're fucking nobody. Ah, fuck. Yeah. I held it in because I was afraid I'd get bullied, but that still fucking happened, didn't it? Yes. You'll all get your due in due course, don't you fucking worry, to everyone who was involved in that. This is about me, not you motherfuckers. What do you say? I'm a flawed character. I love parts of my life, but I fucking hate most of it. Yeah. What more do you say? To everyone who's still in my life, thank you. I appreciate all of you. To everyone who's been in my life, thank you. I appreciate all of you for choosing to be in my life, and I'm sorry for whatever happened that resulted in us you not being part of my life anymore. To those I fell out with, sorry for whatever happened that led up to that, and whatever I did. To those who did me wrong, take your receipts and get in line, motherfuckers.
All these decisions I make on the path to redemption will all be along the path I'm destined to follow, but that path became hollow, and it feels like life, it was just swallowed up into depression, because did I mention that I got no idea truly what's best for me? Spent my formative years wallowing. My mum always said to me, appreciate these times, son, they'll be the best you'll ever see. Wish I took that advice. Now I don't know what's next. Spent too much time trying to be the best, trying to impress people that never gave a fuck about me, going around always looking for clout, see? I'm sure when I say I want redemption, many people doubt me, but those people don't know anything about me. I couldn't get out of this mindset any faster. I just want to put the mistakes and the bad times past me. You may not think it, but the decisions you make have a big impact on what turns out to be fate. You may not think it'll have an impact on your future, but you regret it and want redemption when you've screwed up. You may not think it, but the decisions you make have a big impact on what turns out to be fate. You may not think it'll have an impact on your future, but you regret it and want redemption when you've screwed up. You may not think it, but the decisions you make have a big impact on what turns out to be fate. You may not think it'll have an impact on your future, but you regret it and want redemption when you've screwed up. You may not think it, but the decisions you make have a big impact on what turns out to be fate. You may not think it'll have an impact on your future, but you regret it and want redemption when you've screwed up. It's time for redemption for the times that went sour. Era-defining places can be solved within 24 hours. For too long I've struggled under the weight of depression, and also under the weight of other people's oppression. From this day forward though, I ain't relying on people. From now on, it's me and me only. This is for all the fuckers who ever doubted me. Truth be told, I just want to make my family and friends proud of me. For too long I robbed myself of opportunities because I cared too much about what people thought of me. Not no more, now I don't give a fuck. It's time to make those haters shut the fuck up. Time to get past the Aiden who was in detention, and time to embark on my path to redemption. Mum, Dad and the boys, this one's for you. It's time for redemption, and that's true. You may not think it, but the decisions you make have a big impact on what turns out to be fate. You may not think it'll have an impact on your future, but you regret it and want redemption when you've screwed up. You may not think it, but the decisions you make have a big impact on what turns out to be fate. You may not think it'll have an impact on your future, but you regret it and want redemption when you've screwed up. You may not think it, but the decisions you make have a big impact on what turns out to be fate. You may not think it'll have an impact on your future, but you regret it and want redemption when you've screwed up. You may not think it, but the decisions you make have a big impact on what turns out to be fate. You may not think it'll have an impact on your future, but you regret it and want redemption when you've screwed up.